Hello. Okay, I can see some persons have joined. Can you hear me? Okay. All right. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, just put it in the comment section and let me know where you're joining me from. Can you guys hear me? Oh, great. Amazing. Hi, Chidima. How are you? All right, great. How are you doing? It's so good to see you here. So while I wait for others to join, I think some persons are having problem with the link also. Let me try and see if I can quickly help them sort it out, and then we'll get right into the business of today. Yeah, just give me a few minutes. Okay, great. Oh, great. Joining from Lagos. So you're the same state with me, Abby, and we've not seen each other. You are slying me, you this girl. All right. So I've seen that more people have been able to join. Okay. So great. If you're seeing me and you can hear me, let me know where you're joining me from. Let me know where you're joining me from. Hi, Cynthia. Oh, great. You're joining from Asaba. That's wonderful. It's so good to see you guys here. Okay, great. So let's start. Uh, all right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Reconnect webinar. It's always a delight for me to have to do this, right? Hi, Cynthia. It's always a delight for me to do this and to communicate certain truth to my audience, right? Because I know and I understand the what the right knowledge and the right understanding can do to you. It can shift you beyond your wildest imagination. It can literally shift you beyond your wildest imagination. It can take you from where you are to where you ought to be. It can change your life. I mean, for those of some persons who have been able to interact with me beyond this particular webinar, and they they can testify, right, of what the right body of knowledge and the right understanding can do to you. And I know many of you went through Many of you went through the landing page that I designed to be able to register, right? And I'm sure you read through the story that I wrote there. And it's something that I'm going to be sharing more insights and, explaining more on this call. But I just want to quickly say this, right? You know, that particular season of my life was something that it was it was a season where, regardless of the fact that I was doing quite a number of things, there was emptiness within, right? So I knew that performance or trying to do so many things was not the way. There's something I'm missing, there's something I'm not yet hitting, right? And I decided that, okay, if this is not giving me that thing that I am desiring, what more exists? What more exists? And so I told myself I would I would search for that more. I would go deeper. I would move beyond performance, because if you look at look at social media and look at the world today, you realize the fact that almost everybody is locked in on performance, but you will find out that very few people have been able to hack. I call it hack because it's not something you get by reading books. No, many people have been able to hack, sorry, very few people have been able to hack and discover who they truly are, right? So you see the fact that when you ask somebody, oh, who are you, they are unable to tell who they are beyond what they do, their role in their company, or their businesses and all of that. And you're wondering, okay, if I take all of these things, who are you? And it seems as if you have you introduce to them something that, you know like a puzzle that they cannot solve, right? And it's not supposed to be so. It's not supposed to be so. Now, I'm not against performance, I'm not against you doing things. However, there is a order to this thing, right? And if you miss the order, chances are that you would miss out on the whole thing. I'm not against performance. However, I believe strongly that performance, your desire to want to do things, execute and express yourself, should be born out of an understanding of who you are and your role in the world. That's when it starts to make sense. Otherwise, it becomes just a thing you're doing out of pressure, out of a desire to want to fill in a gap, out of a desire to want to escape the void that is within you, that the void you've been unable to sit into, right? To be able to, quote unquote, solve. So when you act or you perform outside of who you are, it becomes a thing done out of pressure. It becomes a thing done out of certain expectations that you were not supposed to, or you were not meant to follow, right? You were not meant to follow. So I'm really glad that you guys are here with me today. I am super, super glad. All right. So let's just get right into it. What's the essence of, Reconnect webinar? You may be wondering. My goal for designing this particular webinar, right, is to help you discover who you truly are beyond your role, beyond performance. It is to help you realign with your core, right? So that you can show up authentically and boldly in the world. Not just the idea of showing up that has been glamorized in our society today, where everyone is telling you, okay, do this, show up like this, okay, put yourself out there. And there is this craze for visibility. Visibility is not wrong, right? Expression is not bad. We were all designed to express that which has been deposited in us. Hi, Osarime. Welcome. right? We were all designed to express who we truly are, that which has been deposited in us. However, you cannot express yourself, like I've been saying, outside the knowledge of who you are and the understanding of what you even have, what has been deposited in you. You can't express yourself. The moment you start to do that, right? Just know that somewhere along the line you have you've been caught in that trap of performance. You've been caught in that trap of doing things, and it's not supposed to be so. You're supposed to enjoy expressing yourself, not expressing yourself and then deep, don't want to go deep into that, and then deep inside of you there is still that emptiness, there is still that void, there is still that disconnection. So these are my goals for this webinar. This is what I seek to achieve through this webinar, to be able to help you discover who you truly are, realign and reconnect back to yourself so you can show up authentically from a place of understanding, right? And then boldly in the world. So before we start, I am going to share a quote with us, right? And this quote is by one of the people whose work I admire so deeply, right? Because of how they help me go within myself, right? Because it's hard, right? That's why a lot of people avoid it, right? A lot of people avoid that thing of going within to see what is there. It's not something that is, because you're going to discover so many things. You're going to come face to face with your fears, with your doubts, with your traumas, with everything that has come together to make you who you are at the moment. You're going to come in contact with them, and chances are that you might not even know what you would find, right? So it's a thing that demands a lot of courage. It's like exploring where you've never been before, right? But then with the help of a guide, you're exploring where you don't know what you're going to see next, but you know you will see something. You don't know if it's going to be good, you don't know if it's going to be bad, you don't know if it's going to be scary or not, but then you are exploring that terrain. You have the courage to say, I would go there. I don't know what I'm going to find, but I would go there, right? For instance, imagine you're in a house that has so many rooms, right? See yourself like a house that has so many rooms, right? You've been living in one particular room. You've never had that curiosity or the courage to see other rooms. Why? Because the only room that has light is the one you're staying. That's the only one that has light. Maybe a dimmed light, but then it has light. However, when you step out of that room and you look at other rooms in the house, they don't have light. They would require that you take whatever dim, maybe a torchlight or so, and have the courage to venture, have the courage to say, okay, I know I have been in this house. However, it's just this particular room I've been in all my life. Let me check out other rooms. Let me check out this particular room or that one, so that I can be able to also put lights in these rooms that are dark, right? Because it's your house. But what happens many times is we get so used to that particular room that has light, and we say, me, I don't want to go to another room or there's no light there. And then we do not enjoy the fullness of being, or we do not enjoy to the maximum that the fact that we have a house. So it just seems as though even though we have a big house, we're only within that small room. We can't go elsewhere apart from that room because that's the only one that has light. But how about when you start to take whatever, no matter how small that light is, and say, I want to check out this room. What is in there? Let me see. You clean it up. If it's dusty, if it has cobwebs, you clean it up. And then you make, maybe the bulbs are not working or so, then you fix it. When you're able to sustain that courage and the ability to put in shape the next room, then you have two rooms. You do that same thing to the third room, then you have three rooms. Before you know, you have a whole house to yourself, right? You have a whole house to yourself. So this is what Carl Jung said, one of my favorite thinkers and and his works I admire so much. He says, until we make the unconscious conscious, it will continue to run our lives and we will call it fate. The first time I saw this particular quote, right, I was struck by it, and I started to ask myself, okay, what is currently unconscious in my life that I do? What is currently in my life that I am unconscious about? That is running the game and running the show. What is it? What is it? And in that season of my life where I told myself, okay, no more trying to do things, no more acting from a place of pressure, no more trying to perform and be stuck in that performance trap. Let us discover who we are. Let me discover myself. Let me know who I am and what my unique role is in the world. This particular quote started to make sense. It started to make sense. Because then I started to shine light on the various areas of my life that were hidden in darkness. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing that I want to help us do today, to help us shine light in those areas of our lives that seems to be dark, so that we can truly be. We can truly be. We can be in alignment and in connection with ourselves. Otherwise, you see, there are many things that are going on in your life. It's not as a result of, many of us in Africa, we are religious people. It's not as a result of the devil. Now, I am not disputing the fact that they are unseen evil beings. I'm not disputing that fact. However, many of the things that are going on in your life, it's not caused by the devil or by someone elsewhere using voodoo or magic or charm or something else to keep you stuck. No, it's not. When you sit down and you start to make that which has been unconscious for so long conscious, you would realize the fact that you have been the author of your own stagnation. You've been the author of your own doom. Right? You've been the author of your own doom. So when the unconscious is made conscious, right, you know what is playing the game, and you now have a choice to interrupt it. You have a choice to change who the player is in the game. You have the choice to determine the kind of results that you get. There's another quote right there. It said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. A lot of people die not realizing who they are. They did so many things, right? They did good, but they died not knowing who they are, because it's a journey. The journey to self-realization, right? It's not something that you do once. No, it's a journey. And that journey many times, it's not a comfortable journey. It's a very discomforting. It is very discomforting. It will challenge you to pay attention to the things that on a norms you would never pay attention to the things you've been ignoring and sweeping under the carpet. Right. It will do that. Let me know if you guys are still following me. Let me know if you're still with me. Are you guys still with me? All right. So this is where I am going to, this is actually where we're starting from, right? It's actually where we're starting from. But let me know if you guys are still with me. If you're still here, just let me know I'm still here. And if you logged off, do well to reconnect back. All right. Okay. So let me go right into this, right? So I'm going to be starting my teaching from here. And the reason for that is because to understand who we are, we don't necessarily move forward, so to say. Rather, we go backwards to remember. We don't move forward. All right, thank you, Cynthia. We don't move forward, so to say. That's not the first thing we do. No, rather, we go backwards. We go backwards first, right? And that's why I'm starting from here. There is an origin before your origin. There is an origin before your own origin. And I'll explain what that means. It means that before, every one of us here, we are a product of our environment, we're a product of the things that we've interacted with growing up. We're a product of the accumulated knowledge we've gathered either from school, from our parents, from our family, from our environment. We're a product of that. However, that that doesn't define necessarily who you are, because before all of those things started to happen, before you came into this world, before you started to interact with this knowledge, there was a you. There was a you. And that's why I said there is an origin before your origin. So when you came into this world as a child, you started to learn, started to interact. That formed your origin. All of those things formed your origin. That's your starting point. But that's not necessarily the starting point. Right? So I have a scripture on my screen here that explains perfectly what I'm trying to explain. Right? It's a scripture from Jeremiah 1 verse 5. Right? I have two translations here. I have one from New King James and I have one from NIV. Right? So I want to read it out. Then I'll explain what they mean. It says, "Before I formed you." Please pay attention to the word. It said before. So there is before. "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I sanctified you. I ordained you a prophet to the nations." That's what the New King James Version says. This is what NIV version says. It says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. It seems like both of them are on, they're saying the same thing, but there's a slight difference, right? Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. So there is the origin. Before you took flesh, there was an origin. Before you were put in your mother's womb, there was an origin for you. Before you started to learn anything that you learned in the world, there was an origin for you. Before you had hands, legs, eyes, there was an origin for you. So now the word formed, right? The word formed is the Hebrew word yatsa. So I want to break that particular scripture down so you understand when I say there is an origin before your origin, right? So that you don't start to define yourself by all of the experiences that you've gathered, and all of the things that you've been through in life, and you say, okay, that's just it. No, that's not just it. Because even before you started to have those experiences, there was a you. And until you connect back to that you, chances are you would not experience the fullness of who you're supposed to be. You would not experience it. Right. So he said the word formed is the Hebrew word yatsa, and it means many things. And we're going to explore them one by one. Number one, it means to mold into a form. You can see on the slide that I have something like a potter trying to form a vessel, right? Like a vase or something. He's trying to form it. But that vase, right? It didn't come like that. It was a clay. That vase, that shape that you're seeing on the screen, it was initially just a clay. Hi, Afuje. Nice to see you here. It was initially just a clay. So it's a word, the word formed is the word that means to mold into a form. Now, form there speaks of a shape. It speaks of a body. It speaks of a material substance. It's to mold. So that scripture says, before you were molded, before you were given a body, before you became a material substance, I knew you. That particular word, yasa, it means to fashion. It means to frame. Like a frame. You give something a frame. The thing you are given a frame is beyond the frame, in as much as it's still the frame. Do you see that? So how do I explain this? Okay, I can't think of an example right now to further explain that, but let's move on, right? So it's to give something a frame, but beyond that frame, there is an essence that is within it. So beyond your human frame, there is something else. There is something else. So it's saying before you had that frame, I knew you. It means you already existed. It means you already existed. So by the time you start to define yourself just by what your physical eyes can see, you've missed it. When you start to define your whole experience, your whole life rather, based on the experiences that you've been through, you've missed it. Because that's not who you are. Those things might have shaped you in one way or the other, yes, we cannot deny that, but that's not who you are. That word, yatsa, it means to shape. So something, to shape, to give something a form, to shape. So before you had a shape, before you had a form, before you had a frame, God knew you. Before you were put into your mother's womb, He knew you. Now, that particular word, yatsa, is a word that has a strong connection with pottery, right? Just like a potter shapes a clay into a vessel of his own intent. It's something that embodies the concept of shaping and transforming a raw material into a desired outcome. But then that scripture is saying, before all of these things happened, I knew you. Now, if you're very familiar with, the book of Genesis and the creation story, which I believe we are, you realize that in chapter 1, man was created. And then in chapter 2, God now formed man out of the dust. That's the form. But then that which entered into the form, that which was put into the form, right? Because if you read down, it said man was, inanimated, it was lifeless, and the Lord breathed his breath into man, and man became a living being. Before that happened, before the form, the dust that man was made out of, right? Before that, there was already a creation. There was already the existence of that man. There was already his existence. So when a man starts to define himself just by what he can see physically, there is a problem. He has missed it, and there is no way he would express himself fully. It's not going to be possible. Because before you had a form, you were a spirit. Before you had a frame, you were a spirit. You already existed. Now, the word knew, because he said, before I formed you, I knew you, right? He said, before I formed you, I knew you. What does the word knew mean? What does the word to know, what does it mean in that particular word? The word knew, it's the Hebrew word yada, and I'm going to explain. Yada, it means to know. Now, I'm not just talking about, the kind of knowledge you get, an intellectual knowledge. No, I'm not talking about the kind you get as a result of interacting with information here and there, because in our world today, we have information in surplus, right? ChatGPT can compress bunch of information for you. Claude, Gemini, you name it. You go on Facebook, you're seeing a lot of people writing things, a lot of content. You go on Instagram, there are reels, there are videos teaching you one thing or the other. So information, it's not scarce in any way. So that just getting information, mere knowledge, it's not what this particular word is trying to explain. It's talking about something that is deep, it is deeper than that. Something that is deeper than that. Right? To know, it means to perceive, to recognize, to have that's the word, to have an experiential knowledge of something. Now, if you ask, right? If you ask me, or if I ask you, who is Edua? You probably say things like, Edua is, a coach. Edua, is organizing the Reconnect webinar, every information you will give about me would be surface level. It will be surface level. However, right? However, if, for instance, you are a very close friend of mine, right? Very close friend of mine, you happen to have stayed with me, or you happen to have interacted with me beyond just the surface level, you would have more things to say, because now you are not just you don't just know those surface level information about myself. You now know probably my fears, you know my desires, you know the some of the experiences that I've been through, you know the things that probably almost killed me, you know the things that I struggled with and I came out of on the other side. You know all the things that light me up and bring me joy. You know. Do you see that? You know things that the average person will not know about me. So it's to have an experiential knowledge. You don't have an experiential knowledge with somebody without a deep interaction with that person. This particular word yada was used in Genesis 4, right? Where Adam became intimate with his wife and they gave birth to a son. This tells you that this kind of knowledge, right, always produces an outcome. It always produces an outcome, a fruit, a seed. It produces it. That's why we have the word new, the word yada, is to be intimately acquainted with someone. I said it for those that joined my my coaching program, I think that I held in March. I said something. I said, you cannot, right? You cannot be intimate with somebody without first of all embracing the idea that you'd be naked, both in the literal sense and figuratively. Now, what I mean by that is there's nobody apart from the virgin birth, right, where there was an immaculate conception. But you cannot say you want to have sex and have your clothes on. That's not possible. The same way, you cannot come to know yourself intimately without being bare, being naked, being open. So a major requirement for knowing you is vulnerability. It is vulnerability. So if I have you can't know me except I'm willing to open up myself to you. You can't know what my fears are. You can't know what my aspirations are. You can't, except I am willing to open up myself to you. If I cage myself, if I put myself together and I am not willing to let you in, there's no how you will know. At best, it is what your eyes can see, you will know. Beyond that, it's impossible to know yourself. It's impossible. So this scripture is saying, before you had a shape, God saw you bare. He saw you bare. Bare. Everything was open and laid before him. There was nothing to hide. Nothing at all to hide. So, I mean, that's why when I see people, okay, you say you want to have, for instance, an intimate relationship with God, and you're trying to act all together. This guy saw you. He saw you when there was nothing bare. He knows you deep, deep, deep within. But you want to act collected before him. You want to act together, polished. I mean, I don't want to, before the one that saw you bare. Even to yourself. Many of you say, "Oh, I want to know me," but you are willing. You're still caging yourself. You're still putting yourself together. You're still saying, to you, there's not. Then forget about the idea and the idea of knowing yourself. Forget about it. Now, this is what I've been saying since. Self-discovery, to know you. We started from that scripture that says, "Before I formed you, I knew you." Then I unpacked what that word formed me. Before you had a shape, God knew you. And then I unpacked what to know means, which is beyond intellectual or mere informational kind of knowledge, right? Now we are here. This tells us that self-discovery or self-knowledge, it precedes purpose discovery. And why? Let's go back to that scripture. It says, "Before you were born, I sanctified you and I ordained you." So there must be self-knowledge, there must be an understanding of who you are, there must be that courage to venture to discover you before you are even talking about what do I want to do. Because a lot of times, even our understanding of what purpose is flawed. It is corrupted by what we have seen on social media, by what we have seen people doing. And then when you find yourself, right, when you find yourself in that process of understanding yourself, of knowing who you are, it feels like you are wasting time. I mean, let me just go and let me join them and do. See my mates this, my mates that, my mates this. But then you forget the fact that you are not on the same path with your mates. You are not on the same journey. You can't skip steps. You won't know your role in the world until you first of all go within to see you. You won't even know what you're supposed to do. At best, you will be trapped in the idea of performance. You'll be trapped wanting to do. But you forget the fact that your doing ought to be born out of your ability to be integrated with who you are, to be one with yourself. So by the time you start to perform outside of you, you find out that you are doing a lot, but you are still empty inside. There is still that void within you. It already tells you that the solution is not doing first. The solution is not doing. You do out of who you are, not you do to be. You don't do to be. You be, then do. Are you seeing it? So purpose discovery. How I want to know my purpose. I want to know my purpose. It precedes. Self-discovery precedes purpose discovery. It precedes self-expression. So we must come to the point where we tell ourselves that you will not give yourself to the pressure to step out of that path to discover you, because you want to keep up with people that are already doing things. 2 years before then, I was hosting webinars. I was, on Facebook Live. If you go to Facebook Live, I don't know if Facebook have deleted the video, you will see me there. Those things were good as at that time because they had their own role, right? I was not someone that was used to talking like this. No, but if you see me physically, I will talk. However, I didn't know how to interact with people online. So it had its own place. But guess what? I thought that was all there is. So when I finish this one, I will jump on this one. I'll finish this one, I'll jump on this one. But I noticed that as I kept jumping, doing, the void in me, I was still feeling empty. I was still feeling dissatisfied. People come and say, "Oh, I was blessed. I was this. My life was changed." I was empty because there was form, there was no substance. So I told myself I don't want to live that kind of life. So I shut down. That was in 2023, I think. Yeah, 2023. 2023, 2024. I was just locked in on saying, who exactly am I? I'm still on the path, right? Because it's a never ending journey. It doesn't end. Because I only know a fragment of myself. Not all. And I'm not saying that's enough for me. It's not enough. I want to know more. It's not enough. You see that? Let me know if you guys are still with me. So that I don't talk and leave you people and go. Are you guys still with me? Still with me? Okay. All right. So let's run along. Oh my God. I've used 55 minutes and I've not even gone halfway. All right. So I said here, every human on earth is born with a pre-installed knowledge of who they are. Pre-installed. It was installed at the beginning. Remember the scripture that we explored? It explains the fact that you were born with the knowledge of who you are. So it's not like God knew you and it was only him that, no, you too, you knew yourself then. I tell you, because you were one with him. You knew yourself then. However, the moment you were born, you came, John Locke, right? He says that children are born, and when they are born, there's something called tabula rasa, with an empty mind. And then they start to learn. So you came into the world as a tabula rasa, clean slate, but you still had your essence. And in that, your essence was the knowledge of who you are. But then as you started to interact with your environment, your family, their values, their teachings here and there, your friends, your neighbors, the school, your media, you started to interact with all of these things. Guess what? The understanding and the knowledge of who you are became different from that which was designed from the very beginning. Now, it doesn't mean that because you are not aware of it, it's no longer existing. No. When you were born, right after your birth, what happens is that you lack the awareness to detect it. It doesn't mean it's no longer existing. You lack the awareness to detect it. And sometimes, right, for those of us that pay attention to ourselves, sometimes you notice that there's something more to my life, right? There is that craving, there is that desire within you for that thing that is more. You don't even know how to articulate it. You don't have the language to be able to articulate it. You can't tell exactly what. You just know that I just feel like there's something beyond. There's something. It is that origin that is calling out to you. It is calling out to you. So there is the you that existed before the world shaped you and told you who to be. So they say if you don't have a car, by the time you are 27, you are a failure. And you are like, I don't want to be a failure. You forget who you are. So right now, it is to be doing things so that you don't fall into the description of who a failure is that society has given to you. And if you are not doing this thing, you are wasting time. Really. Is that really what wasting time is? Have you looked into the chronicles of who you are and realized that I am wasting time not because society and the world is telling me I've not achieved this, but because I looked at who I'm supposed to be. I've looked at the image I'm supposed to evolve into, and I know that I'm nowhere near it. So I've wasted time. We don't do that. Rather, what we do is, all my mates, all my mates. So I need to keep up. We'll start playing the game of keeping up. We start playing the game of keeping up instead of playing the game of alignment and oneness with us. There is the you that existed before they started to tell you who to be, who not to be, what to do, what not to do. And there is the you that emerged, right? It was shaped as a result of your interaction with your environment and the kinds of information you were exposed to, both consciously and unconsciously. Because every information you interact with, it's like a deposit. It's being deposited within you. You see it, and somewhere it's stored in your mind. It's stored in your mind. It's like there's this, I don't know if it has happened to you guys, right? If it has, give me feedback. Where you're listening, you did not download the song, right? You're just listening to, maybe you even heard it when you are going, maybe when you stepped out and you're going somewhere, and the thing just kept playing. You obviously, like, you were not paying attention to it. You did not say, let me listen to these lyrics, let me know what say. You did not do all of those. The thing was just playing in the background. And then you get home, the next thing that came out of your mouth, or the next thing you are humming, the next thing that is playing in your mind is that song. I like, how did this it happens? That's an unconscious kind of learning. Your mind was absorbing it. You were absorbing it without you even knowing. Without you knowing. Are you seeing that? Now you must understand that your identity is not hidden from you. So people get so, when you say, discover who you truly are, people just get depressed and like, how do I even know me? Discover myself. Where do I start from? Who really I? It's not hidden from you. It's not hidden. It's not, nobody's trying to punish you and say, you must suffer. No, nobody's trying to do that. It's not hidden from you. Instead, it is buried, right, underneath layers of years of conditioning you have been exposed to from your childhood till now. It is buried under it. And now, until you start to pull back the curtains and peel back these layers of conditioning, you might not see you. Right? You might not see you, and you will continue to function from that place of conditioning. Many of us are functioning from the place of our conditioning. You are functioning from the things that you have experienced, from the things that you've learned. Most times those things are inaccurate. And you say, that's how we used to do it here. Oh, that's just who I am. Excuse you. The confidence that you have to say, that's just who I am. Are you really sure that's who you are? I mean, that's who you have learned to be. Over time, you have learned it. So they say, this person is just, no. Say, that's how I am. Oh, really? Really? So as a result of this conditioning, right, you lost touch with yourself. You lost touch with yourself. Now, that act of losing touch with yourself came as a result of looking outside of you. So you want to discover yourself. You are looking everywhere else but you. Some of us even bombard our head with so many knowledge. They tell you, oh, do this to discover yourself. 5 ways to discover yourself. Number 1, do this. Number 2, you are looking outside. Meanwhile, you are being called to look within. You are ignoring that call, looking outside to search for you when you are not lost. You are right here with you, but you are still finding yourself outside because you can't see you because your eyes is everywhere apart from you. It's everywhere apart from you. And when you start to look outside of yourself to find you, you have missed it and you will never see you. Because to understand and to know who you are, to reconnect back to yourself, it starts with you looking within. Like I said, it's not something that is it's not something that is enjoyable. No, it is discomforting because you don't know what you'll find there. That's why a lot of people would rather engage themselves in so many things than to sit down with the void that is in them and say, okay, let's see what's here. Why is this thing here? A lot of people would rather engage with they can't stand to be alone. They can't stand to go into their mind. They can't stand to go within. Because that will cost you. That fear you have been trying to sweep under the carpet, you would have to revisit it. That trauma you have been trying to form strong girl and strong man for, right? You would need to revisit it. Now, here's something you need to know. It was something I was thinking of sometime last month, right? I was on my way somewhere and that thought just struck my head because I saw something. And here is it. It says, the quality of your decision in life. Oh, please pay attention to this one. The quality of your decisions in life, the outcomes you achieve, the impact you create, all of those things is dependent on the depth of awareness you have about yourself. I think I heard somewhere someone was saying that, or did I hear it somewhere? Or I think I was thinking out loud that the quality of finance that you have, financial decisions that you make is dependent on an awareness of yourself. The partner, life partner, romantic partner you end up with, the one you choose, is dependent on an awareness of yourself. The kind of career you end up with is dependent on, it's a lot. So if that is a huge determining factor on the quality of things I get out of life, not quantity, but quality of things I get out of life, does that not tell you that you should pay more attention to that? Does it not tell you? Does it not give you that clue that let me not necessarily focus on money or people or who am I to marry or what career am I to end up with? Let me focus on knowing who am I, because that's the hack. No matter how good outwardly looking somebody may be, when you know you will realize if that person is for you or not. You would know what you want out of a romantic relationship beyond money. You will know the career to go for beyond, oh, this is a high paying job. You would know, or a low paying job. You would know. But because we are not focusing on that, on walking that journey, rather we are distracted by every other thing. Guess what? Our decisions and our outcome in life, what we are getting out of life, is not what we're supposed to get. Nobody is designed to live a life of mediocrity. Nobody is designed. God did not design a particular person and say, you, I don't, there's no good thing about you. Just go. Everything about you is super. No. Why? He designed you in his image. How he is who you are. So if you're experiencing something different, it's not him, it's you. It's not because there's something wrong with your essence. It's not because there's something wrong with that image. It's because there's something wrong with how you are engaging with the image. Maybe you are not even looking at it at all. Maybe you are not evolving into it. Maybe you are just doing every other thing but that. Remember, I said that this is a webinar to help you reconnect with yourself, because a lot of us are disconnected. It's like you have a charger, you have extension, you have a phone that you need to power up, right? Now you plug the charger. You're supposed to plug the charger to the extension. Now the extension and the charger themselves, they are nothing. The reason why both of them can power a phone is because of the electricity that flows within. That is the essence. That's the quote unquote spirit. But a lot of times, it's either we are plugging the charger in an extension that has no electricity, or we have an extension that has electricity and then we don't plug the charger, but we connect the charger to the phone. And at the end of the day, we say, oh, my phone or the kind of result I want from life, I'm not getting it. There's something you are not doing right. So check your life. What current result are you having? What is it that you want to have? Ask yourself, what is powering my result? The quality of result I'm getting now. What is powering it? Right? What's sponsoring it? Ask yourself that question. Because if you know what's powering that quality, that decision, that outcome you're getting out of life, the current one you're getting out of life, you can intercept it, you can interrupt it, you can change it. But if you don't know it, you will continue, say, let me do more, let me act more, let me engage more. Every operation, right, is dependent on an operating system. If you start to operate it apart from the operating system, you will not get the quality of results that you want. So the operating system and the operation must work hand in hand. If you have the operating system alone, but you're not doing any business with it, you will still not get results. So two of them must work hand in hand. And then many times, it's either we are disconnected from one or the other. That's just by the wayside. Now, I said, without a true understanding of who you are, everything you do, you write a book, part of it. You join, you start, you part of it. You engage, it's part of it. Everything you do will be born out of mere performance and something that is driven by external pressure or societal expectation. Ask yourself, Why are you desiring to make the millions of money that you're seeking to make? Why why are you desirous of, maybe you have a desire to travel out? Why are you desiring to start that business? Why are you desiring to, write that book? Why are you desiring to, why? Many times is as a result of, you want to keep up. You don't want to feel left behind. So nobody says you are wasting your time and your life. Oh, I want to make mama proud. It's not wrong. If you have that desire, it's not wrong. But ask yourself why. Why do you even want to make mama proud? So they will not see you like a failure. So it is about them. It's about they. Are you seeing it? So they don't say they again. Check your life. 90% of the time, we are operating as a result of what people expect from us. So the moment that expectation stops, the true you comes out. You're not operating because you understand this is who I am. This is how I'm supposed to function. But so that they think about it. Let's run. Now, what does it mean to reconnect? Number one, it means to connect again. Simple. It means to be invited to come back to yourself. It's like you left home. You are everywhere else. You don't even know your way back home. So to reconnect means to be invited. This is to be invited to come back to yourself. It means to come out of performative living, right? Just give me a moment, please. It means to come out of performative living to purposeful being and expression. That what you are doing is because you understand this is who I am. This is my role in the world. This is how I'm supposed to engage. I've seen it. I'm not being pressured to do it. I've seen it. I'm not trying to do it or keep up. I've seen it. I know. Are you seeing it? It is to live from a place of alignment, that you discover that before I was born, there is a me. And so you understand that you see that you, and guess what? You function from that place of oneness. You are true to yourself. You are true to yourself. It's a myth, like a myth, to think that you must look outside of yourself to connect with you. Let's look for the next book. Books are good, but let's join the next course. Courses are wonderful. I take courses, I read books. But here is what the understanding that I have, that you must have too. Everything you need to be the highest version of yourself, to align with who you've already been designed to be, it already lies within you. So there's no need to be looking for what to use to add. The moment you're seeking for something outside of you to add to make you complete, there is something you've already veered off the path. You veered off the path. We said it from the beginning, right? Your DNA, God knew you, He formed you, right? He knew you before He formed you. Your essence, He designed it, He created it. So your DNA is divine, it is divinity. You must register that thing in your mind. Your DNA is divinity. Your essence is undiluted, unadulterated. It is pure. Your form, right? Your experiences out of life may be something terrible, you may be something painful, maybe something you don't want to talk about. But beyond all of those experiences, you must be willing to see the purity of who you are. That you are pure. Your design is divine. Your design is divine. It is unadulterated. It's not corrupt. It's not polluted. It doesn't have K-leg. It's perfect. Because if you don't see yourself from that angle, it's different to even become it and express it. You will keep defining yourself by your experiences, by your current state, by what you have been through, by what life has used to life you. No, you're not broken. All that you need already exists within you. So you're not searching for it to come and add. No, you are looking within you to unpack and unveil, to reveal, so you can see it. When you see it, you will become it. When you become it, it's easy to express. You become original. You become authentic. You are not trying to copy people. No, you're not trying to copy. Yes, you can have models, but you are learning from them so you can engage the principles that can help you see more of you, not to be them. I'd rather be an original of myself, no matter how it looks, than be a copy of another person, because that already exists. So people won't interact with copy. They would like to interact with the main original. So let me find the original version of myself too. Do you see that? And even at that, the reason why most people seek to become like another person is because they don't want to do the work to find themselves, to discover, to see, to unveil who they are. They don't want to do the work it takes. They admire somebody that's been able to, you are bold, you've done the work. Let me just jump on you because you've done it, rather than me engaging. I beg, too much work. But the reason why you like what you are seeing is because the person engaged it. If the person never engaged that process, you would never like anything about becoming like them. So why not engage too? Why be stuck in performance? Why not engage? This is the performance. Here's one thing I want to share with you. Performance trap. Right? It's called performance trap. Now, performance trap is a psychological and behavioral pattern where a person lives, or a person ties their sense of identity, self-worth, and value entirely to their achievement, their productivity, or how well they perform, especially in front of other people. Right? So it's a pattern. The reason why you are probably stuck in a performance trap is because you feel like the moment I stop doing this, I don't know, I won't know who I am again. And that was how it was for me in 2023. I told myself, okay, if I stop doing all of these things, then who am I? I don't have an identity again. This is where my worth is tied. This is where I get my value from. But it's still performance trap nonetheless. Because you are only as good. You believe that you're only as good, valuable. You have worth to the degree to which you keep performing. And many of us are like that. So I have to do this. I have to show up. Because they've told you show up. Me too, I have to show up. Why? Because you've tied your sense of value, your sense of identity to your performance, to your achievement. So the moment you don't perform up to the standard, up to the level you want to, you're not performing in that level again. You're not in that zone where you are. I want to, let me just do something. You start to feel worthless. You start to feel what? Worthless. As if you are good for nothing. You start to feel like you are not enough. To worsen it all, you go online and you're seeing a lot of, and you're like, but it's a trap. You keep moving, moving, moving. At the end of the day, it doesn't. You see, the thing is, excuse me, it doesn't, it doesn't, what's the word now? It doesn't solve the void inside of you. It doesn't, it's the word solve now. It doesn't. It doesn't solve that emptiness. That's why you see a lot of successful people that are successful outwardly, that still feel empty inside. I was listening to a podcast a few days back, and for those of you that listen to podcasts, I think you love it. Diary of a CEO, and the host Stephen Butler, he said something. I think if you're looking for that particular podcast, I think it's episode 38 or so. 38, yeah. He said that, or maybe that the reason why people have, maybe he was like contemplating, right, in his thoughts. He said maybe abundance, right, what we call abundance, having so many things, is not really the road to happiness, joy, and all of that. And when he said it, I was like, okay. But after I finished listening to that particular podcast, I was doing something. I think I was writing, or I was engaging in a chore or something, and then I remembered that particular thing he said, and I said, that's not true. That's not true. If you have abundance and you still feel empty, it's because you have a wrong philosophy of what abundance truly is. Abundance does not necessarily mean you have many things, many cars, because that's the illustration he gave, that he has friends that have abundance, many cars, they travel around, they have money and all of that, but they still feel empty. And I said, that's not the definition of abundance. Abundance doesn't start from there. There's no way you engage that you're truly abundant, that you'll be empty. Because abundance starts from within. Before you start having material things, it starts from within. The fullness starts from inside, not outside. The much starts from inside, not outside. So if you start it from outside, you will still feel the emptiness, because it doesn't matter the number of cars you want to have, the number of countries you've traveled to, the amount of money you have in your bank account. If you're unwilling to do the inner work so you can see and you can be unveiled to yourself, you can see you beyond the conditioning, layers of conditioning that you have, you will still feel empty. You will. There's no, you will still feel empty. So ask yourself, are you stuck in performance trap? In a performance trap? Are you stuck in a performance trap? Or are you performing from a place of alignment with yourself because you have seen who you are? Right. What are the dangers? Because it has dangers. It does. It does. And it's not funny. Some of you are in that performance zone. Currently, as I'm speaking to you, you are in that performance zone. You are trapped. You want to get out, but you don't know how to come out. If you've been paying attention to me, you would have discovered how to come out of that trap. What are the dangers of this trap? It robs you of your ability to be. So you are always engaging, but you have no time to sit with yourself, to see you. You have no time to sit in stillness because you equate stillness as wasting your life. You have no time to lean into you. What's the next thing for me to? What's calm down? You will do. But I want you to do from a place of alignment. Otherwise, you will just be going around in circles. You will feel emptiness. You will feel that emptiness. You say, oh, maybe I did not do, I'm not doing enough. You want to do more. You do more. After that, you still feel the emptiness. Maybe I'm not doing enough. Let me do some more. That's not it. Calm down. It's not it. It puts you in that zone of constant competition and comparison with others. So you look and say, so that person has, let me to me too, I can do it. Okay, okay. It creates a false sense of identity. It's never born, that identity is never born out of a consciousness of who you are. And the moment they even ask you, who really are you? That question, now, instead of it serving as a form of invitation for you to deepen your understanding, it sounds like it's like somebody is threatening you because it feels like somebody wants to take something away from you. So it's like a threat. Meanwhile, that question should be an invitation to see you some more, to deepen your insight about you. But guess what? You perceive it like a threat because you have tied, when they tell you, okay, take out time to, lean in. So you want me to stop doing? You want me to stop? You cannot separate yourself from what you're doing. You can't separate yourself from it. Some of you have defined yourself by your title, your roles. So they ask you, if the moment they say, okay, no, apart from that, tell me who you are, it feels like that question becomes threatening, becomes a threat to you. You feel it deep within you. What's this one? You even become aggressive. For instance, I'm not praying for they sack you from your job, your role, maybe you're a manager there or whatever, they sack you from it. Oh, your world has crumbled. Even if you're a business owner, oh, you're doing a business, and the moment there's just that identity, your identity you've tied to revolve around your business. So the moment that thing is not working, or maybe it crashes or something, your whole world. But here's what I want you to know. Those things are part of your different expressions, probably, but they are not you. They are not you. So it leaves you empty, drained internally, dissatisfied, despite the outward success you might have. Despite it. So by the time you start to feel these things, right, I'm going to explain, signs that, you might be disconnected with yourself and you probably don't even know. I'll explain it as we go. There's a slide for it. So you are successful on the outside, but you're still empty. You're still drained inside. You're still dissatisfied. You still feel sad and depressed. But they just applauded you now. You just smiled online. You just took a photograph and you posted it that, on my way to see the president. Or, these things you see online, but then at home, when you're alone, the true nature, the true state rather, of what is going on starts to become glaring before you. It creates, right? Performance trap can create lack of interest or apathy in you. What I mean is, when you do, and do so much, it gets to a point where you don't have interest again. There's just that, I beg you. And then you slip gradually into depression. You're probably wondering, how is she able to describe? Because I've been there. You're just, let me just do this thing and I beg. No more joy. Because you are not living anymore. You are just acting. Not performance like theater. You are on a stage. People are seeing these different costumes you are wearing. First day you wear this costume, next day you are just seeing it. But inside is empty. Another danger of performance trap is that it leaves you chasing after meaningless metrics handed to you by society, and you are chasing after it. You devote your whole life chasing after it. The time, Jackpot was, if you are still in Nigeria, you are a failure. Leave the country, you too. It's not because you know that you should leave, you seen that you should leave. But is it me that wants to come and be left? There's that sense of you are being left behind. So because you don't want to be left behind, you want to catch up with the metrics that the world sets. Come on. You can live a life that is deeper than that. Quickly, I'm going to talk about this collective mask and personal mask. For those of us that have been in my program, right, called Deep Work, I I spoke about it, right? So Deep Work is my 8-week intensive group coaching program where I help you discover, engineer, and launch a more authentic, purposeful, and empowered version of yourself. People that were in the last cohort, right, I held in March to April, it's 2 months, they're here and they can testify of the work that we do there, right? They can testify. So if you're interested in being a part of it, please do not hold yourself back. If something within you calls you out when I mention it, please reach out to me after the call. I'm gonna drop a link or a way for you to contact me somewhere in the comment, and then you can reach out to me. Then if you're on WhatsApp, right, community on WhatsApp, feel free to reach out to me privately. Right. So back into the game. So we've done something like this in that in my group coaching program. It's actually what it's named, deep work. You do the deep work there. There's no hiding, there's no trying to cover. It's everything is laid bare and you see you for you. Right. So collective mask and personal mask. We all have masks. There's nobody. Some persons have been able to remove more of their mask, right? Especially the ones that are not serving them. currently, while some are still in the journey of doing that. But we all have masks. Why? Because masks are created and worn to act as survival mechanisms, as adaptation toolkits to help us cope and adapt with, the world around us. For instance, the reason why I say, oh, I'm going to delve into what a mask is more, but I said we all have masks is because we all have been through certain experiences that life offered to us. For instance, some person's mask could be, I'm the strong one. Now, it's not because they are strong. So you see them like, she's always showing up. She can always show up. And to them, they feel like that's just who I am. But by the time we start to unpack it, we start to see that it's just a mask that they've worn. Because growing up, they've been made to be the strong one. So they do not know how to take off that mask again. Because they feel when they take off that mask, they don't know who they are. People see them, they become too bare, too vulnerable to the world, and they don't know what to expect. So they will always want to wear that mask of being, I'm strong, I can show up, I can. Vulnerability to those persons is something that they don't even go close to. So you see them and say, you've got it all collected, you've got it all together. You're always, yes, so what to do? But inside, it's a different state. You see that? So what are masks? Masks are false identities or roles that you wear to protect yourself, to fit in, or to hide your true self. So you wear a mask, not literally, right? But you wear a mask internally so you can fit in. Probably, right? For some of us, we've heard stories that says things like, we've heard people say things like, as a man, you don't cry. So you engage with a man and you notice that no matter how emotional he is, he's always acting collected. Why? If you dig deep, you realize that probably there was a time when that man was a boy and he was, expressing that part of himself, that emotional part of himself, maybe crying for something and say, you're a man. Why are you crying? Shut up there. Men don't cry. Man up. And so, because as that child continues to grow, becomes a teenager, right? In the midst of his friend, he also expresses maybe a bit of that emotion. Guess what? You're a weakling. Oh, okay. So, in a bit not to be a weakling, he wears the mask of, I've got it all together. Right. I've got it all together. Don't worry, I can figure it out. It's just, don't worry. Meanwhile, all he needs to do is ask for help. But because of that mask he's wearing, some of us wear the mask of being, people pleasers because we don't want to. We want to fit in. We want people to like us. We want to be admired. We want to be approved and accepted. So masks are the versions of yourself that you present to the world in order to be accepted by the world. You know that if you don't put on that mask, you fear that you might not be accepted. So you wear that mask so that you can be safe, so you can be accepted by people. You can fit in because you feel like standing out already puts you in that zone of you being a threat. So I don't want, and people might not want to associate with you. So you say, no, let's just do as what every other person is doing. You see that? They help you, right? This mask, they help you to be acceptable and to be a part of a tribe. We all love to belong. There's nobody that likes to say, I don't want to associate anybody. It's just me. Put me in an island, I will survive. That's a lie, because we're not created to function in isolation. You need people around you. Maybe you don't need them all the time to flood into your personal space, but you need people. So because of that desire, it's a human need to belong, to be part of a tribe. So because of that desire to be part of the tribe, you know that the moment I come with a different attitude, something that is different from what the tribe is used to, they might not accept me. So let me just act like them. Let me act. That's a mask. That's a mask. You see that? There are here I have two different category of mask. We have the collective mask and the personal mask, right? The collective mask is the image or behavior that a group of people put together to appear a certain way. For instance, a family, right? Everybody, so they put it on, right? So that they can appear a certain way to the outside world. Maybe I know some of you might have experienced it, maybe at the family level, where you have a visitor come to your house, and normally you guys used to like gist, laugh, and you lie down on your chair and every other thing, and so the visitor comes and everybody's acting all collected. Hmm, and they start to talk about maybe one person in the family has messed up, right? Everybody covers it so that they can appear and now say, oh, the family of, who should I use here now? The family of Fuji. They are all, they're the perfect kind of family. Perfect. When everybody is putting up a show. The family, I just like. And then you see another set of family say, can't you even be like this man's, can't you be like that man's son? He's so this. He's so that. But guess what? Fail to realize that they were wearing a mask. They've been wearing a mask and they're still wearing mask because they want to appear a certain way before the world. It's not because that's who they are. They want to appear a certain way. But when you go inside, when you catch them unaware, you see the real them. So a collective mask is the false image. Take note of the word false image. It's not true. It's the false image a group wears to feel accepted, respected, and safe. So the difference between collective and personal is collective, a group of people wearing the mask. Personal is just one person. And guess what? Your personal mask many times is born out of that collective mask. So you see a certain way that a group of people they are behaving and you adopt it as your own. Even when you are outside of that group, you still behave that way. Then it becomes your own personal mask. You see that? Now your personal mask is is a false self or a role that you adopt so you can cope with life. I've explained that before, right? Another reason why we have masks is to protect our ego. It is to protect your ego. You know that if you don't act a certain way, if you don't show up a certain way, people might not like you. They might not accept you into their clique. You might not experience love from them. You might not feel safe. You might feel threatened. You might feel like you are the outcast, the different one. Are you seeing it? So you put on that mask so you can fit in. No, it's time for you to start taking off your mask. Because if you don't take off your mask, you will not see yourself. You will not know you. You won't come into an understanding of who you truly are. You will function from that place of the person with a mask on. I said it before that vulnerability is a key criteria for self-realization, for self um what's the word now? To know you, vulnerability. Honesty is another key criteria. You cannot be lying to yourself. I've got it also. You are more, you know. You can't be lying to you. That's the greatest form of deception. You can't. So every version of yourself you have curated, you by yourself, you design, because and usually it's out of innocence, right? You did it maybe when you were a child, just so that you mommy can love you or daddy can love you, and they can see you in a particular way and accept you. Now you've grown up, you can't let go of the mask again. As a child, oh, mommy praised you, the hardworking one. She's very hardworking. Oh, now you've grown up, even when you are tired, you still continue to go. You see rest as something that cannot be thought of, because you know that the moment you rest, people won't see you as that hardworking person again. The moment they don't see you as a hardworking person again, they stop liking you, and then you leave the trauma that you relieve the trauma that you felt or that you lived when you were a child. I go more into this in my program, so let's just move. Now, these are the ways both of them are formed. I'll just run through them, right? Collective mask and personal mask. These are the ways both of them are formed. Number one, cultural conditioning. For the collective mask, trauma and collective memory. Now, when a family, for instance, have gone through, or a group of people, it doesn't have to be a family, but a group of people, I'm just using family for ease of explanation, a group of people have gone through certain experiences together, right? For instance, they if a community, for instance, had um some sort of war outbreak with another community, they there are tendencies for there to be friction between them even when the war is over. You see that? So this community can be like, oh, we don't need their help, we're good, we have everything figured out, right? And that community says, the moment somebody from this community start to say, we are truly going through problems, oh, and this other community has solution, let's ask them for help now. Say no. Ask for help? No. Why? Because they've so worn the mask of, we've got it figured out, that so that they can let the other community know that we don't need you. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say, right? Now somebody is identifying and seeing that there is a real problem. Let's Help is there. I've seen that help is there. You too, you know that help is there. Let's ask for help. Say no. Or in a family where they are facing challenge, struggle, but because they have so put on the mask that we don't need help from anybody, God is our help alone, right? Guess what? When they are going through problems, their neighbor has the solution. They can't humble themselves to go and I know that you have experience with this. Please, I'm going through particular. Can you help me? Right? Because they feel like my neighbor that used to look up to me, I will not come and be. It's a mask. It's a mask. So you as a child, you pick it up and you don't even have the ability to want to ask for help. That thing, it doesn't come to your head. You're like, let me figure it out by myself. No. Social roles and hierarchy. So they say, as a man, you don't cry. As a woman, you don't reach for higher goals. Don't try to do beyond yourself. Just do what Just do small and submit yourself to your husband. That's what is prevalent in that society or that community. And so even when there is a desire to want to aim high, you know there is something that calls out to you from within. Guess what? That mask continues to hinder you. You're like, no, maybe it's not for me. I don't even know why I'm having all these ideas. No, I'm not supposed to aim that high. Really? You're not supposed to aim that high. You're supposed to aim what? Low. God that designed you and put the design in your heart doesn't know what he's doing. You're responding to your mask, not to the call in your design. Then is mass media and the narratives on social, and their narratives. Mass media, social media, television, the news, and all of that, right? So they tell you, oh, okay, what should I even use? What example should I use now? They paint a particular picture for you on TV, and you believe it. You believe it, and it starts to determine how you up, because that's what masks do. Masks, right? They determine how you operate in the world. They tell you how you should act in the world, what you should do, what you should not do, what is good, what is not good. Mask define it, not necessarily because that is the exact way, that's the only no, but because if I don't do it that way, ah people will not, so it becomes a thing of them, not a thing of you and what should be. Then you have personal mask, right? Childhood conditioning. You have fear of rejection because you don't want to be seen, you don't want to be abandoned, you want to still be in that clique. Guess what? You put on that mask so you can fit in. If the mask says, if what is required is that you be a people pleaser and just do anything people say, don't say no. You put on the mask, even when you are feeling resentment within you, you don't want to do this thing, but you still say, okay, I will do it. But inside, you really don't want to do. You want to say no. I'm sorry. I don't think I have the luxury of time to engage it at the moment. Yeah, okay, no problem. I'll do it. Then you have trauma. Your mask can be formed from as a result of your response to trauma. Yes, it can. It can. Maybe you went through a particular event, or you experienced something as a child that really traumatized you, and you found a way to cope. Remember I said masks are coping mechanism. You found a way to be able to cope with it, the impact of that experience in you. You found a way to cope with it despite how you felt, how it made you feel. It becomes a mask because you would always want to use it to protect that part of yourself. The next one, we have societal expectation. This one can be seen is rampant in our world today. Rampant. It's rampant in our world today. Everybody trying to do something, keeping up with the Kardashians, keeping up with the whatever it is your name is, keeping up with them. You want to keep up so that nobody sees you as a failure. Nobody sees you as somebody that is falling behind. But really, inside, you are falling behind. You are. Give me a moment, please. All right. So comparison. You see everybody on social media trying to act as if they don't have any problem, right? And you're like, I want to be. Say, is it me that will not come and be? Me too. I need to. Oh, hello. Everybody is sharing. Me too. I need to write and post something. Am I against that? No. But if that is born out of your mask, there's a problem. That's what I'm not gonna sit with. Everybody, me too. I want to. Me too. Oh. Hmm, hmm. Check yourself. You will discover the truth, right? You will discover the truth. This is almost 2 hours, and you guys have started pretty. You know, I'm excited basically. So here are some signs that you are disconnected from yourself and you don't even know. You might not know. Number one, you feel empty inside despite your achievement. Some of people celebrate, oh, I have this number of this. I'm not trying to bash them. Or I have this number of followers. I just gained this number of followers on this particular platform, and these things are beautiful. But when you're doing it out of, not from a place of, okay, you don't have a, how do I explain this? It's not bad to celebrate your success. Share it to the world, let the world celebrate with you. It's not bad. However, right, is that when you are trying to do all these things to make up for the emptiness inside of you, that's when there's a problem. So you can be doing, or when you are doing it because you are stuck in a performance trap, that's when there's a problem. Another sign is that you feel you have this strong craving from isolation from everyone, everything. Like, let everybody just, it's like depression. Let everybody just leave you. I don't want to talk to anybody. You put off your phone. I don't want to. You feel you don't have appetite to eat. You just want to lay on your bed. You just want to be there. And let me just be there. You're disconnected. It's a sign. Another one is or there is this strong craving to be in the midst of people to avoid the void you are feeling inside. So you call, oh, and let's just go to a party. Oh, let's just go out. Oh, I don't want to be in my room. I don't want to be alone. You take social media because you don't want to sit. You are scrolling. You have scrolled through all of them. You are still re-scrolling through the ones you have scrolled before. You go to from there, you jump to Netflix, you watch like 50 movies. You are just trying to avoid the void you are feeling inside. It's a sign you might be disconnected from yourself. Another sign is you feel a strong sense of dissatisfaction. I think I've said that one before. You're just dissatisfied. You look around you, there's money in your account. You have people you call friends, but you're dissatisfied. You know that there's something more. You can't place your finger on it. You can't, but this is not all there is to my life now. You feel disconnected from your soul. It's like you are living outside of yourself. It's like you are dead inside. There's nothing life alive inside of you. It just feels like nothing makes sense anymore. You are living, you are going to work, you're interacting with people, but inside is it has they've turned off the lights. You feel a deep void within you. It's like they remove something and there's this big hole inside your heart. It's a sign. You're battling with confusion and you are exhausted within, you are drained. It's a sign you are disconnected from yourself. Another one is you feel depressed. I've said it before. Depression is a sign you are disconnected from yourself. Because if you're truly in sync with who you are, if you are in alignment with yourself, joy, you're supposed to live in that state of joy. Not happiness. I didn't say happiness. I said joy because joy is internal. Happiness is triggered as a result of what you have, what you can see, material things. But joy is something ethereal. It's how do I even explain this? So it doesn't come as a result of things you have. It flows from oneness with you. It flows from there. So when you if you're not one with yourself, if you're not functioning from a place of alignment, you would always feel depressed regardless of what you're doing to make up for that void. That void will not go away. It will still be there. Now, how do you reconnect with yourself? Woo! We've gotten to the last slide. Thank you for sitting pretty. How do you reconnect with yourself? Now you've know, okay, signs, or these are the signs. Maybe me, I'm experiencing it. You've identified what you are experiencing from the signs. You know that I'm experiencing one or two or three or four of these signs in my life at the moment. You know, maybe I have mask on. I've noticed that, yes, true. You said something about mask. I have so many masks on. So how do I reconnect with myself? You have said, oh, before I was formed, God knew me. How do I reconnect with myself? The first thing I have here, there are others, but I had to limit it to this for quick assimilation. Number one, embrace stillness. Stop running away from yourself. You have to embrace, you have to take a pause. That the wanting to jump here tomorrow, you are there next tomorrow, you take a pause. Embrace stillness in your soul. Embrace it. Here is something you need to know, right? See, when you want to reconnect with yourself, right? It's never a thing of more knowledge. Let me go and read more. Let me go and jump on this call. I want to discover my purpose. I want to discover who I am. Let me go. These things are beautiful, but it's never first. First is a stillness in your heart. Because when you take the books, right, and you take the courses, but there's no stillness in your heart, guess what? You will engage with these things and you will still be driven to want to go and perform. So embrace stillness in your heart first, so you can find these answers when they pop in your heart. The next one is analysis and documentation. You need to start to engage in intentional self-inquiry. Ask yourself questions. As the answers are coming, take a note, document. Don't store them in your head and say your brain has 1 billion megabytes, abi terabytes. Take a note and document. This is what writing does. It helps with clarity of thought, and it helps you know what to do next. But analyze and ask question. That's the third thing. Leverage the power of decisive questioning. Now, what that means is, you see, decide when somebody gives you kind of question that cuts through all of the noise and all of the many experiences you're having with it, it cuts through. That's a decisive question. It cuts through the noise. So it helps you focus on one thing instead of the noise that is going on. It challenges your thoughts, and it causes you to pause and you have to start engaging with those kinds of questions, right? These things, they give you clarity of who you are, why you are, how you function, why you are functioning that way, who you want to be. What it gives you clarity. Ask questions. Sit with questions. Yes, sit with questions beyond books. Beyond, sit with questions. Questions will help you. I told you that everything that you need is already in you. It is questions are fetchers. They help you fetch and draw answers you need, the things you need from inside of you. Next thing, go for knowledge. I know you might feel like, oh, you're just contradicting yourself. No, I'm not. Go for knowledge. The reason, right, I said you should go for knowledge is sometimes the reason why you are unable to even articulate what's going on within you is because you don't have the language for it. Some of you, as a result of this call, you have been able to put language to certain things that you might be feeling, right? Before now. Say, okay, go for knowledge. Now, what I did was I increased your inner knowledge, not necessarily poured out to you. I also helped you to increase your inner. No, now you are more aware. Oh, I felt this way that time. Okay, so this is the reason why. Oh, wow. Oh, I think I'm stuck in this performance trap because I'm always. So the goal of going for knowledge is not necessarily to add. That's a part of it, but it's not necessarily to add. It is for unveiling and clarity of what already exists. I told you, right? Now, all the things I've said, I didn't tell you this is who you are. Rather, I gave you tools that you can now engage to walk backwards so you can see yourself. I gave you tools. I am acting as a guide, right? To help you walk backward so you can remember yourself and come home to you. So you can be reconnected to yourself. The last thing I have there is coaching, mentorship, and therapy. Some of you need therapy. Some of you mentor. So these things, right? These things, mentorship, coaching, therapy, they provide you with strategic insights that guide you back to yourself when done properly. Their structure and system. I shared something on my WhatsApp status some time ago, right? That was 2-3 days back, right? That coaching and therapy and mentorship, they are structured systems to help you fast track your growth and the kind of results you want. Whatever it is, they fast track it. So what would have taken you 1 year, 10 years, when you sit with a guide that can help you, right? And you walk with that guide, you compress time for yourself. You fast track it depending on how well you engage. Are you seeing it? So, guys, that's it. This is an invitation for you to come back home. Come back home. These are things that I dive I dive extensively into, and many more, right? But and even practically, I dive deep into it in my coaching program. 8 weeks, I'll be with them. You can't come in and go, come back, come out at the end of 8 weeks. No, now. The people that have been there, they can testify. Do you see that? So invest in these things. Some of you need to shut down. You are jumping up and down too much. Sit with yourself. Start to ask yourself questions. The answer that you are jumping from south to east to west to north to find, if you sit with yourself and you ask yourself the right question, you will find that answer, and you will find much more. But you just want to be jumping up and no, don't do that. Do you see that? So that's the end of the Reconnect webinar. Over 2 hours of being on this call with you. I enjoyed every bit of it. Every bit of it. From the beginning till now. Right. Um, let me know if you guys are still with me. I hope I didn't shake too many of your tables. I hope I did not make you cry. It's not my intention. Right? If you did, I'm sorry. And if you did not, you're a strong man, strong woman. Okay, so let me know if you guys are still with me. All right. All right, guys. Before we go, right? Before we go, let me get feedback from you guys. How was the how was the session for you? How was the session? Tell me one thing you took out from your biggest highlights, basically. What was your biggest highlight from all the things that I shared? Let me hear from you, and then we'll call it a day. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So tell me, what was your biggest highlight from all that I shared? Let me know, let me know. All right, keep sending in your feedback. I'm waiting to read them. I am waiting to read all the things that you guys got from today's session. Please let me know, let me know, let me know. All right. Yeah, guys, I'm waiting. Okay, let me see who has dropped. All right. Oh, amazing. So yeah, Chidima said, yeah, you have your name as Mom. Okay. Okay. Chidima said the need to continuously sit with ourselves, there's nothing we're looking for that is not within us. Exactly. There's nothing. It is the answer is in you. The resources is in you. You have it. You have it. So stop looking for things to want to add. You have it. All right. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. Um all right, guys. Um we have come to the end of the session. Uh like I said, if you would love to be a part of my 8 weeks coaching program, you would feel free to reach out to me on WhatsApp for those of you that are in my WhatsApp community. And if you're not, and you'd love to be a part of it, if you're watching the replay and you'd love to be a part of it, I'm going to drop how you can be a part of it in the description below, so you can always use that means to contact me, reach out to me, and we'll take it from there. Right, it's 8 weeks, it's going to be intensive, and we're going to do the deep work. But then I promise you that at the end, at the other side of that 8 weeks program, is going to be a you that you have never met, and you're going to be meeting that person for the first time through my program. To have an amazing, amazing, amazing day. Bye. Oh, before I go, I can see another comment. Yeah, it says, oh, Chidima says, I'd rather be an original version of myself than become someone else whose journey I know nothing about. Whoosh, that's profound. Thank you. I love that. I love that. I love that. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Amazing. All right, guys. Thank you so much for staying tuned till this time. I will see you at the other side.